When my sister and I were diagnosed, we were the first 2 people of the 11 that were diagnosed, and 4 had already died. And so our case was pretty serious, and it was requiring immediate transplant. But 2 weeks before the drive, I woke up sick, and I was sent to the hospital, and then I was diagnosed with stage 4 Burkitt's lymphoma. Something that I didn't expect, something that was threatening my life, and something that I was very scared of. I think I was angry, I would describe it. Angry that I had cancer, angry that I had to go through any kind of chemo treatment, angry that I had to be in the hospital for months. I think at that point I wasn't really trusting in God, because I think I was more blaming God. So I'm like, how could this happen on top of this? And I didn't look at the big picture, where it just kind of hit me out of nowhere, like why am I angry? Like, this is God. This is the person that, the one who came and died for me, the one who made me, the one who loves me, and I'm blaming him for cancer. I think from that point on, I began to trust God. I began to get more hope, instead of more of like a falling journey. I was more of like a rising journey for me, because when I got cancer, it kind of came out of nowhere. Didn't see it coming. I woke up one day and I had cancer, and it was scary. So I started living in a way that was less scary, because I have a big God, and I know He was going to take care of me. And I was able to hang on to that hope as I was lying in bed for 5 months. And He was able to pull me out of that. My sister's health started getting worse, because that's kind of how Doc8 works. It's kind of a progressive disease that the older you get and the farther it goes, the disease gets worse.
As the doctors would see her, she'd be hospitalized. She was hospitalized when Karly had cancer for 2 months, and she gets hospitalized pretty frequently, and so we'd see her, and the doctor would see her, and we'd be in the same hallway with one girl down here and one girl down here, and it's just a big party. And but they saw that Kelsey was getting worse too, and things went wrong, and it was difficult.
I can remember going on that phone call with the doctors and not really understanding what they were telling me. I mean, they were telling me my daughter was going to die, and I needed to get to Maryland soon so that I could say goodbye to her. I didn't understand that. It didn't make sense to me. And I think one of the reasons it didn't make sense to me is because God wasn't going to take her then. And, one of her statements, she was very brave. But one of her statements was, I'm going to get healed, or I'm going to get healed. And what she meant by that was that I'm either going to get a new life here on this earth, or I'm going home. And I will be healed at home. And I know that because of her great faith. When I walked in her room for the first time, God said to me very clearly, "It's going to be okay." And I totally understood what he meant. I understood that we were going to go with option 2. That we weren't going to get that healing on earth, but she was coming to heaven. I knew it. I didn't want to accept that at that time, but I knew it. I had never told her, ever. That day, I whispered in her ear, "Honey, it's all right, go home." And when I said it was okay, it was a matter of minutes. And she passed, and her heart just stopped very, very peacefully. We had a celebration in her ICU room. It was really cool.
She was my role model through like this disease in life. I looked up to her for pretty much like everything. I loved her bravery, I loved her courage, I loved her just the way she lived life, because she lived it in such a way where people would come to her when she was like, she's this the one who's sick and the one who has bad health and the one who might need help. But people came to her because she was so strong. At the end of school year, in the beginning of summer, my doctors told me that it was a good idea to decide whether I wanted a transplant or not. I have like a couple options. I can try and find a perfect match, which I haven't found still yet, or I could go with a not so great a match, or I can go with another not so great a match. And both would be not the best option, so the doctors were kind of telling me I had to choose one of 3 not so good options by the end of the summer, because with Doc 8, the life expectancy is people don't live out of their 20s, and it's mostly because cancer takes their life before they can get a transplant. And so hearing that news, it's very, very hard. Because I had all these things and things I want to do in life, things and goals I want to meet. But yet, I have to the end of the summer, and so that was very, very stressful on me. So I started talking to God about it. And I'm like, God, I can't make this decision. I can't do it. My option for now is not to go for a transplant immediately, not by the end of the summer, but to wait for him and his timing, because his plan is the best plan. And so I had made a list of things I wanted to accomplish this summer, because I didn't know if I was going to live to the end of the summer. So I made a list of things I wanted to make sure that I did, because I thought those were the important things that God wanted me to do. And so on my list of things to do was become a youth leader here at Union Chapel. So I started applying and And now I'm a youth leader, and it's great, and that's just one of the things off my list, but it's brought me a lot of joy. I'm hoping that I'll be able to give advice to kids, like trust God. I mean, because that's really the only way I think to live. Because trusting God is the only way to live for me. I live day by day, trusting God, and so far so good.
It makes you think about what legacy you want to leave, or what do you want on your tombstone when you're gone. And I think it's the same thing as we want to draw. We want to live our day, share our story, and draw as many people into the eternity as we can. So I sometimes feel very inadequate in sharing our story. Yeah, it's like, well, what have we got to share that other people can't already know, or it's like can't hear somewhere else? So I feel like we are carrying a privilege to share our story.
We have people talk to us on occasion and tell us, I just don't know how you do it. And I oftentimes will tell them, I don't know any other way to do it. I can't imagine walking through that same situation that we've walked through without having Jesus there. I can't imagine the struggle and the trial of trying to deal with that on yourself. I told people all the time, I can't do anything about docking. I can't do anything about transplants. The only thing I know how to do is to say, help, Lord, come, Jesus. Those are the only words that I have for the whole thing. So sitting there and fretting about it and worrying about it is really not really an option, because it does no good. All it does is make me feel farther away from a God who wants to comfort me.
I trust Him. I trust that He's going to take care of me. He's going to lead me on the right path. He's going to pull me through the hard situations, and together this life is going to be fun. It's going to be joyful. I'm just going to live life the best I can. Live life loving others. Live life trying to teach others about God, because it's all about God. He's the reason that we're here. He's everything. He is awesome.